I would now like to introduce our wonderful salutatorian, David Reeder.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Reeder. I'm the salutatorian for the class of 2018. As you already heard, but I've practiced a bit too much to make any changes to my speech, so I gotta keep it flowing. Hope everyone's doing okay, hanging in there. I believe with that, we're halfway through, so you'll be able to take pictures, meet up, all that good stuff with your kids pretty quickly. And for that, I want to take a moment to appreciate that we are here for the Academy, not for any other senior high. I think a lot of us know people who have to wait while they try and get 1,400 kids across the stage. It's simpler, it's faster, it's much better here. Definitely grateful for that. Now, it's the responsibility of the salutatorian's speech to reflect on the past 4 years, whereas our valedictorian, he kind of looked to the future. And of course, after countless project reflections, capstone reflections, I have no reason to be burned out doing that at all. But let's try this out, let's move forward, let's see how much good 4 years of practice has actually done for me. Now, as Ms. Paquette taught us, we have to start with some acknowledgements. So to all of our facilitators, past and present, those who can make it and those who couldn't, I want to thank you on behalf of all the students for embracing the spirit of the Academy. And that is to say, thank you for letting us explore every inch of the topic, letting us pick our own ideas to run with, even though you know that we're going to trip and fumble along the way. And of course, thank you for helping us up at the end of that. To all the faculty, all the staff, administration, thank you for constantly trying to keep us moving in the right direction, even though sometimes we've made that equate to trying to steer a train wreck. And we rarely do we ever show enough appreciation for that. So thank you. And then last but not least, thank you all the parents, all the families. Simply put, you've had to put up with us the longest. You've put up with us through some very difficult and some very, very angsty years. So thank you. And then, on behalf of all the students again, I would like to offer an apology to those 3 groups I just mentioned. We know how hard it must be to see your all-time favorite group of students go. And we know we would like to apologize for however many years we took off of your lives, however many hairs we could have turned gray, or maybe even however many hairs we caused to fall out. I say that, of course, with one exception, Mr. Wright, seeing as most of his hairs were gone already. You can't really put that one on us. Now for the rest of us in the room, the 102 learners who survived this long, we are the 3rd graduating class of the Academy. We are the 2nd to have spent all 4 years at the Academy. And we are the last to remember when we were allowed to play Foursquare inside. Not too long ago at the senior banquet, some of y'all who attended may remember that Mr. Wright, he talked about how some of us still don't know everyone's names, but regardless, everyone has some memory, some interaction with the entire grade. For the longest time, I was one of those kids. I was terrible with names, probably all the way up through sophomore year, maybe even a bit into junior year. I think I have them all down now. Granted, you can test me afterwards, feel free. But for the longest time, for those 2 and so years, you could have pointed to any one of you. I may not know your name, but I would have had something to say. And in my opinion, that is the most unique aspect of the Academy. That, much like our school itself, there are very few walls between us. You're going to end up in a group with someone. You could be assigned to an activity in a seminar, you could be assigned as peer review partners, etc. And more than that possibility, it will happen. Over the 4 years of this school, you're probably going to end up interacting directly for some sort of school activity with about 90% of the grade. So we never got to afford to discriminate based on our cliques. And because of that, we got to share some very unique memories as a whole class. I would wager that a lot of you out there remember freshman year when Ryan brought Pretty Pretty Princess for the first year facilitators to play. And for those of you who don't know, this is a board game where the goal is to collect the most and only the finest and most valuable plastic jewelry until you end up working your way towards a tiara and you become crowned the Pretty Pretty Princess. In fact, the only pictures I have left of Mr. Barish and Mr. Bailey are from that game. And I know you guys are out there somewhere, I don't know exactly where, but I just want you to rest assured you're being remembered very well. Then in the 2nd year, we had the project Beneath the Surface where we had to create submarines. I'm sure a lot of us remember the Great Wall of Smirkus. It was a PVC slab about the size of a door, barely could call it a submarine, and while it couldn't complete any of the game objectives itself, it was extremely adept at keeping us from completing them. In 3rd year, one morning, we looked out the window to see a plume of smoke rising in the distance. It ended up being the corner bakery that burned down. That was the first day that I had to go to Jason's Deli instead for lunch. I don't like Jason's Deli. For 2 years now, I've had to go to Jason's Deli. Thank you, Heather. And then this year, For some reason, I get the impression that at many other schools, the valedictorian doesn't make an appearance in the planning chat for the senior prank. But at this one, he does. Now, to save you a bit of face, he was put there against his will. He didn't contribute to anything, but there he was. Now, it's always been interesting to me to think that my high school class is about the same size as my elementary school class. However, as evidenced by the fact that at my elementary reunion, I talked to a grand total of 10 people, one of them being Sean from this school, I know you guys a whole lot better. I look forward to reminiscing and all the stories that are going to be told throughout the rest of the day when you go to dinner, all the stories that I missed out on telling up here. And I know that I'll actually have something to say when our reunion comes around. So thank you.